Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming to the September Board of Commissioners meeting. Things will run a little differently first part of the meeting because, as you know, we just had an election. So tonight I'll run the meeting until they nominate the mayor. And let the mayor, once that gets established, then I will gladly hand that over to him. But we'll start the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Commissioners, first off will be the nomination for mayor. Do I have the nomination for mayor?
I would like to nominate Don Prater for mayor.
I would like to nominate our longest serving commissioner.
Any other nominations? Okay, I want to do a roll call vote. So Pat Jenkins,
Becky.
Wendy Martin,
Don.
Don,
Don.
Becky,
And
and Kelsey. Don Prater. Okay, so 3 votes to Don Prater, so Don Prater is mayor. And I will gladly hand the meeting over to him.
Thank you very much, and welcome everyone to our meeting tonight. And let me also welcome Pat Jenkins. Pat's been a long time member of our community and has also served on the Board of Commissioners before. And I want to welcome him back to the Townsend City Commission. Also, Becky Headrick, a long-serving member on our Board of Commissioners, and so we are really pleased to have them both be in part of this new commission that we will have that will run from 2024 to 2026. And so let me continue with the nomination of our elections and officers. That's what we do at the start of our commission meetings every 2 years. And so the next position that we have is vice mayor. And so I'll start. I'll nominate Wendy Martin as vice mayor. Do we have any other nominations?
nominate Kelsey Satterfield.
Okay. Okay.
Do a roll call.
All right, we'll do a roll call vote.
Okay, for Pat Jenkins,
I vote for Kelsey.
Wendy Martin,
Myself, please.
Mayor Prater,
Randy?
Becky Headrick,
Kelsey.
and Kelsey. Kelsey. All right, so we have 3 for Kelsey Satterfield, so she is our vice mayor. Thank you.
Congratulations, Commissioner Satterfield. Next thing we'll do is we will assign the portfolios of the different commissioners. Traditionally, the commissioner of the police has been associated with the mayor, and that leaves 2 additional commissioner portfolios that we discussed. So we have Parks and Recreation Commissioner, and I would nominate Kelsey Satterfield as Parks and Recreation Commissioner. Do we have any other nominations? Okay. Then I think all in favor of Commissioner Satterfield continuing as Parks and Recreation Commissioner, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, congratulations, Commissioner Satterfield. We next have Commissioner for Streets and Maintenance. Would anybody like to assume the portfolio for Streets and Maintenance? This is a very important portfolio, Streets and Maintenance. Our streets and maintenance are incredibly important for our residents, as well as for part of our community plan. Any commissioners?
I would like to nominate Randy Martin.
Would you accept?
I accept.
Okay. All right. Any other nominations? Okay, let's do a roll call vote.
Pat?
Randy?
Randy?
Becky?
Randy.
All right. Congratulations, Commissioner Martin. You have the portfolio of streets and maintenance, Commissioner. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, the next item is one that I'm not entirely sure exactly how this portfolio gets assigned, but I think it would be good for our city commissioners to do this, and that's the appointment of a representative for the Planning Commission. Now, you all have heard me speak a little bit about some of the things that I want to do for the Planning Commission. And on the Planning Commission, there are 7 members of the Planning Commission. The mayor and 1 more member from the City Council serves on the Planning Commission, along with 5 other commissioners. I have indicated at our last meeting that I would support having our planning commissioners actually be appointed by the Board of Commissioners, and so we have to make some changes in order to facilitate that. But if we did that, we would have an additional call for expressions of interest for the Planning Commission and for the Board of Zoning Appeals, and that would give this commission an opportunity to weigh in on that. And so that's one thing that I think we still have in the works. In addition, on the Planning Commission, I would really like to focus on training. It's really important for folks that serve on the Planning Commission to have some training and experience. And so we do have training that's offered, sometimes through the Municipal Technical Advisory Service, but we might have to look a little broader than that. One of the reasons why training is important, not only to make sure that all the planning commissioners are well informed to make good decisions, but it would also open positions on the Planning Commission to additional city residents that might not have a technical background. And so one of the things I would really like to do is to ensure that we have a strong Planning Commission. It's going to be so critical to what we're doing on our community plan. And those are some of the plans that I'm thinking about for the Planning Commission. So we do need to select 1 other representative from the Board of Commissioners to serve on the Planning Commission. So I would like to see if there are any nominations for that open seat.
I'd like to nominate Becky Headrick.
All right, so we have Becky Headrick, Pat Jenkins nominated. Anyone else? Okay. Let's do the roll call vote.
Okay, Pat?
I go for myself.
Becky?
I'll vote for Becky Headrick.
Pat?
Pat Jenkins.
So Pat is the new commission representative on the Planning Commission.
Okay. That was good. Congratulations, Commissioner Jenkins. All right. Now, with those portfolios settled, normally we would have a beer board meeting at the beginning of the meeting, but we'll go ahead and have a beer board meeting now. So I will turn that over to the Vice Mayor to run the beer board meeting.
All right.
Nothing like jumping in with folks.
Nothing like jumping in. Okay. All right. So we have an application for a beer permit, an off-premises permit with Apple Valley. And let's see, we have Houston here representing. And Gayla's, she already sent this to us, so we've had this for quite some time. Does anybody have any questions regarding the beer permit for Apple Valley Cafe?
I have a question just to understand
Okay.
the way things are done now.
Okay.
It used to be that a facility could only have an on-premise permit or an off-premise permit. But I think things have changed, and I'd like somebody to tell me how they've changed.
Where did you all change to where you could have on premise?
Not sure when that was changed.
I'm not sure when it was changed, but I know the state will allow them to have both
So
now.
it
They
did
just have to
change somewhere, we
have a
just don't know
license
the
for
exact time. Okay.
Right. So we already gave, I believe you have a beer permit through Gissel Social already to do off premises to sell the beer. Okay. All right, so,
This is different though, this is out in the valley, right? So
yes, this is Apple Valley.
So are you selling it in the restaurant? Or
Yeah, so
where?
we have an on-premise permit in the restaurant, we have draft and packaged beer there, and this is just, to-go factor to the beer.
Where will it be sold from?
If you walk in the main front doors at Apple Valley, you've got like a drop cooler, kind of like right in front of you, it's got like sodas on the right, and you've got like packaged goods down the bottom, and it's just gonna be in that section. You know, we have that, everything's counter service there, so it's not like we're creating a new, I don't know, point of sale system or something like that.
Okay. Go ahead.
Chief Condi, have you taken a look at this? Any concerns?
No, they're very well versed in all the necessary requirements for selling beer. Nothing new for them, so they know the rules. Don't expect any problem with that.
Okay, so commissioners, do I have a motion to approve the beer permit application for Apple Valley Cafe?
Make a motion to approve the beer permit for Apple Valley.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, any further discussion about that? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Okay. Thank you, Houston.
Yeah, well, when will that be ready for them? Tomorrow?
Okay, Houston, you can get it tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I guess I need to turn it back over to Mr. Mayor.
All right, if you're ready to adjourn the beer board meeting?
Oh, I need to adjourn the beer board meeting. How about it? Okay. Do I have a motion to adjourn the beer board meeting?
Make a motion.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. All right, Mr. Mayor, back to you.
With the adjournment of the beer board, let's move ahead on our agenda. The next item, Commissioners, are the minutes from our August 20th meeting. We've taken a look at these. We were provided these in advance. I'll give you one more minute just to take a look at them. Make sure there's any corrections or additions that we need to make to our minutes of our last meeting. Okay, may I have a motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting?
Make a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
Have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion, any amendments or corrections need to be made? Okay, hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor of approving the minutes of our last meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I have to abstain.
Yes. Okay. All right, that is 4 votes to approve and 1 abstention, and so the minutes are approved. Okay. Moving right along, we've got the finance reports, so City Manager, if you can lead us through the operating statement, that would be good.
Okay, when I look at page 1, we'll go through the revenues, and you'll see our sales tax was up. We budgeted, we're getting received $93,000, we got $107,000. Also, beer tax was down a little bit. We had 1 business permit. You look at the building permits, we have 32,347. I do want to note that yonder all planned in pool 2, so that's 28,000 of that 32,000. Mobile food vendor permit, we got a couple of those. We had some GHSO post and grant money, 5,121, 4,800 of that was another supplement that they get, in addition to their regular $4,800 post payment. And then some of that was some overtime reimbursement from the last DHS order. And then going down, sale capital outlay, you'll see that was $47,631. That's for the sale of this police surplus. And then in miscellaneous revenue, we had $3,183 as opposed to the $300 we had budgeted. $3,000 of that was a full package bonus from our public entity partners, our liability workman's comp. So overall, a good month. We budgeted for an income of $139,340. We came in at $239,051 with the sale of the vehicles. But it evens out as we go into the expenses. If you go on to page 2, nothing really noteworthy there. Just down there at the end, under planning and zoning, I have added another line item for community plans so that we can track what we're paying them. So we've paid them the $6,000 so far. Then on to page 3, under city hall operations, supplies was up a little bit because we are recording meetings. So part of that is paying Mr. Brown to do that. Under other general government services for IT and website support, we were a little over on that, but $1,900 of that was a switch that our IT guy needed to integrate into our server to help it better job with the fiber optic system that we're on Platte County. Our midstream tax was up because they sold more alcohol. Bank fees and supplies, we didn't have anything budgeted there, but I needed to order some more accounts payable checks, so I did that because we don't want to have. Under police administration, under grant expenditures, you'll see $3,083. That was for a rugged laptop. We'll get that reimbursed whenever I do the THS grants for this current quarter that we're in. So we'll get that money reimbursed back to us. And then you'll see under police vehicle is $42,082. So that kind of goes against the sale from the revenue. And then on page 4, everything's pretty well in line there. Overall, very good month. We budgeted for net income of $22,700, and we came in at $74,600. So good start.
All right, very good. Thank you, City Manager. Questions from commissioners? It's a big number, but I guess a big chunk of that on revenues is from the sale of the police vehicles.
All the WS, yeah.
All right, any questions from commissioners on the operating statement? If not, let's move next to the charter of accounts.
Okay. In the general fund, we have right at $685,000. Street funds right at $200,000. Direct funds holding at $4,800, and the accessibility fund is at $1,200.
Okay. Commissioners, any questions on the charter of accounts? Hearing none, can I have a motion to approve the finance report?
I have a motion to approve the finance report.
Have a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further questions on the operating statement, charter of accounts? Okay. All in favor of approving the finance report, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the finance report is approved. Next, let's go to building and codes report. I see that it's the birthday of the building inspector. He's with his wife tonight, but he sends a report. So I'm happy to read his report. It says, apologies for my absence. Today is my wife's birthday. I think he's doing the right thing. No new permits to report for this month yet. However, we did issue 4 certificates of occupancy this month. We were audited by the State Fire Marshal's Office and we passed. We are adequately enforcing the adopted codes and standards. Also, should have the grading driveway permit ready for October. Planning Commission will have that on their agenda for October to send to the Commissioners for approval. So this was discussed last week at the Planning Commission. It is a new ordinance regarding grading and driveway permits, so. All right. Moving next to the codes enforcement. Mr. Ogle, you submitted.
We did have a few citations for different events and things that had happened. And picked up several signs throughout the city. That's about it.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Ogle. Any questions from commissioners for Mr. Ogle? Okay, thank you very much. That's the reports from the building inspector and codes enforcement officer. Let's turn next to the interim city manager's report.
One thing I just want to add, that goes back to the building, we got audited by the state, and we got the findings for that, and their opinion that our office is adequately enforcing the adopted residential building codes and standards, and is properly performing inspections under Tennessee code annotated laws. So that was something that was started a year or two ago, and that really worked to get all the information to get that completed and a good finding. So the only other thing I have is that we have the opportunity to apply for a grant through TWRA. They are dispersing some funds for bear-proof containers or a compactor for household garbage. And it's a matching grant, so we would match at least 25% more if we could with that. So I'd like to get the approval of the board to go push ahead with that. The representative from TWRA has given us an extension at the end of October to get the application in.
I see.
And they'll do it in disbursements. And you're on a scoring system, so if you have policy in place as far as requiring businesses or things like that to have bear-proof cans, you score a little bit higher. So I am working with officials in Gatlinburg to kind of get their ordinance together, kind of tailor it to Townsend, and then send it in for review by city attorney managing from the past, to make sure everything looks good. So that moves forward. I'd like to have that on the October agenda as well.
Okay, sounds good.
So can I get more details? Is that only for business dumpsters, or does that include
Now this would
residential?
be for residents to be able to come and put their household garbage in there
Okay.
for city residents, similar to the compactor that Laurel Valley has for their residents. We just have to, right now our logistics would be where we're going to put it. It would need fencing around it, probably monitoring, it would have to be locked. Because we don't want it to turn into like our spring and fall dumpsters, where everybody just kind of reads everything. So we have to iron those out that, for the wildlife, so get your approval for that.
So we're talking about potentially installing a trash compactor that would facilitate people putting things in the place where bears can't get to it.
Right.
There would be a cost to the city, but there's an opportunity to have a grant, TWRA grant, and that as part of that application, they score you on certain things. And you'll tell us more about that, like having certain ordinances.
Like if we have certain policies in place already to kind of deter bear activity, proximity to the park, and things like that. So, and we've had quite a bit of bear activity this year, especially in the campground up toward the park. The chiefs have to respond on a couple of times, so we're looking at a way to kind of bear-wise, bear-proof and help
Okay.
residents and businesses alike.
Could you, because I have had a number of people write into me or told me to decide at the grocery store to talk about bears in the last couple of weeks. Bears are a part of life here in Townsend. Could you talk a little bit about the Bear Wise initiative and what you've been doing on that?
Well, I recently joined the Bear Wise Task Force. It's a group of just local agencies, Gatlinburg, different businesses in Gatlinburg. I got in touch through Tammy Gold from One Partnership. She kind of recommended us as a liaison from the city of Townsend. I think ADR is involved with it too, and they're just creating initiatives to educate and inform the public, about their habitat, lessen the impact that we're having, deter them from coming around, and not giving them that opportunity
Right.
to pillage of garbage or whatever the case may be. So,
I think that's good. And of course, we have Appalachian Bear Rescue right here in our community. So I see Dana out in that quality. So Dana, thanks for coming and joining with us. Because bears are part of life here, I think it does make sense to talk about this, and we'll have some opportunity for community input on it as well. So y'all get your thinking caps on, and if you have some input on that, it would be a cost to the city, and it would, put some requirements potentially in place, but I think we probably need to get input on it.
The grant would reimburse, like, the materials and stuff that we would have to do, like the concrete platform or fencing and things like that. So, there will be additional costs that we would get reimbursed. Yeah, but it is a matching grant, so it'd be at least 25% or more,
Okay.
depending on if we're able to do more.
All right. Thanks for making us aware of that. Commissioners, any questions?
I have one more question. And forgive me. This, lack of a better word, dumpster is going to be available to residents and businesses, or just residents, or just businesses?
It would just be for household garbage.
Okay.
So we're looking at more for the residents
All right.
to be able to have a place to take their garbage. So they don't have to leave it out and then attract bears.
How much does a compactor like that cost? Do you know?
That I don't know. I know they have $250,000 total in funds, but they're dispersing them out amongst other agencies.
Okay.
So I don't know what our cost would be. It would depend on our school, I would say.
Oh, okay. With that grant, does it require any letters of support to go along with it?
I don't believe so.
Okay. I'm sure we could probably get letters of support. So.
All right. Anything else from the city manager's report? Okay. Thank you very much. Let's move on to the police report. Chief Conley.
Thank you, Mayor. Don't really have a lot, just had the balloon festival last month, and it went well. No major issues, had some heat-related medical issues with some attendees, but that was addressed appropriately. Everything seemed to run pretty smooth otherwise, so no real issues there. Next thing up, event for us is, of course, the Heritage Festival, Bluegrass Festival, and it's a pretty tame event, so we really just don't have issues with it at all. So not looking for any problems with that, but we'll have some additional traffic signs out to maintain traffic flow, but that's about it for what we do for it. But that's about it. Everything else is business as usual and staying busy.
Okay. Thanks, Chief. Any questions for Chief Conley? Okay. Thank you, Chief. Moving right along, Fire Department report, Chief Stallions.
I'll talk loud. We're fine, everything's going really well. Had, this weekend with the Dragon being closed due to the fire, we had 3 road rescues right there back to back to back, 2 of them were the same location. But everything went fine, crew did well. Enjoying this weather. I'm hearing the downspouts, I think. It's awesome. We need rain, we need more rain. So, but as long as it keeps raining, we're doing good.
Okay. Thanks, Chief. Commissioners, any questions for Chief Stallions on the Fire Department report? Okay. Hearing none, let's move on to the maintenance report.
Y'all don't know me, I'm Jason, I work for the maintenance department. Y'all know we lack of rain, we got it. We're slowing down on the mowing. And you probably guys noticed the dust out here, we're very sorry. We're trying to get the curbing done. So we've been doing that, and that's the problem there, is this lack of rain and all the dust. But one thing I was wanting to address with y'all was the swinging bridge up here. We had a call come in that there was some damage to it, and one of the structure underneath, one of the support brackets was broke. Actually, 2 of them was. So we went in, we repaired that, and of course we felt like it should be closed for a little while, and that's the reason why, we called Gail and got with her and had it closed for a little bit. But we got all that fixed, but it really needs some attention. It's, the structure on the other side, I've sent Gayla pictures, and of course Gail took pictures of it. It's pretty bad. It needs to be, like I say, it needs to be really looked at. So we need to really get on that pretty quick. With everything slowing down, we can do, me and my team can only do so much to it, but as far as the structural damage that it has, it needs to be addressed pretty quick.
So-
The bridge down at Kensal Springs, if I'm not mistaken, that is Trex on that bridge. Is that correct, or is it wood?
No, just on the top layer, on the handrails is just Trex.
Okay.
We did go down there and, look at cutting some of the locks and stuff off, but as far as it needs to be painted soon as far as the flooring on it. But like the top layer does have Trex on it.
All right, so it sounds like we might need to get some estimates on it.
Yes.
I think in general, we probably need to make sure that we are clear on ownership on the swinging bridges. We also need to check in with the county on the status of that. I know we've had verbal agreements over time about who takes care of what, but I would like to endeavor to see if we can talk with Jeff Headrick and make sure that for all these arrangements that we have, maybe, we know what they are and what our responsibilities are versus what the county might be responsible for.
Absolutely.
It's something hopefully on paper.
Yes.
Yes.
Chief Tom?
Sorry, if I'm not mistaken, we entered into agreement with the county about the swinging bridges, and the city agreed to take over, after they did the repairs on it, the city agreed to take over maintenance from that point forward on our swinging bridge. I'm pretty sure that was the agreement with them.
It was supposed to be on both of them, the lower and the upper.
Okay.
Yes, that was from Chico Master,
Okay, so you talked to him.
Yes, I did, but we need to get something in writing, like I say.
I have a different opinion. I was involved back then, and we only talked about the swinging bridge that's inside the city limits. We didn't take over maintenance responsibility for a swinging bridge that's outside the city limits.
Yeah, that's something that needs to be addressed, with Headrick, with him and see what, the agreement was. I mean,
Yeah,
that's based on
the
what I was
agreement
told.
I remember was within the last few years, and when we had the bridge repairs done, when it was closed for a short time, we had the bridge repairs done, and then the agreement that I understood was that we took over just the one in the city, and that the county had.
Yes, from the time I've been here, we've actually never.
Yes.
Now, I have one other comment. If we find that the flooring in our swinging bridge needs to be replaced, I absolutely would not want us to replace it with Trex, because we lose the historic look and the historic value of that bridge. Even though it might mean replacing it more often, I just think we need to preserve that history. It's an important part.
These are all really important assets that we sort of consider as our city assets. So I know our Commissioner of Streets and Maintenance will be looking into all that. Okay, thank you for that report, Jason, really appreciate that. Anything else, Commissioners, any questions for Jason?
Oh, well, you all did some work at the Special People's Park too
Yes.
recently. They cut some trees and got some debris out of
Yes,
the way
we-
and.
Yes, we did. We actually cleaned that up, and like I say, hopefully we can get that open soon as well.
Yeah.
So
Still
there's
working on that.
a lot of people ask questions about that every time we're down there, and there's more people that visit that little park than I just about the little time being down there, I was very surprised.
Yep.
And it's a big deal, so yeah, as soon as we can get on that, it would be great. Yeah, we did repair some stuff down there and clean it up and have it looking appropriate.
Yeah, I appreciate that a lot.
While you're here, we have talked about replacing some of the lawnmowers, so just keep that on your mind. We'll probably bring that up next month, maybe starting to implement some new lawnmowers. We've had it for a while.
Yes.
Do you know how long we've had our oldest one?
Oh, that was way
Anyhow, okay.
Yes.
So, well, we can maybe get some money, this is the end of the year, so maybe we can get one at a reasonable price. So that'll be something we'll probably be asking the commissioners
Yes.
next month, the October meeting. We'll get some numbers together.
Okay.
So you're looking to replace one or all three?
Maybe 1 a year, or what do you think, Jason?
Yeah, the way that, Rover City does it, they flip them every 4 years. I know that's a little expensive, but to do that, at least you've got some, money that still, we wire them out. I mean, we run them about 8 hours a day. And if you run them that long for that period of time, you put a lot of hours on them. So you want to try to flip them, at least you got some money still established in that, so you can, let's see, come out of it. So,
Yeah. Are there other arrangements? I've heard that some communities will actually lease mowing equipment, and that way it gets replaced every so often.
yeah, I'm sure there's some.
Maybe y'all can look into it, see whatever's most cost effective for the city to have good and safe equipment.
Yeah, I think I was talking to Gail about, they're pretty sure there's grants out there. I mean, her was talking about it. We're gonna kind of check into that as well.
You bet.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving right along, let's go to a report from Townsend Cades Cove Gateway Alliance.
You missed the recreation report, Mr. Mayor.
I'm sorry? Oh, let's get right over to recreation.
My goodness.
How could I do that? Mr. Satterfield, recreation report.
I don't have as much as I did last month, but I did want to just say that we welcomed our new board member in, and Miss Mina Oldham, and Brett and Tammy are back on the board as well from that vote last month. And we did select a chairman and a vice chair at our last meeting on the 10th. So I remained as chairman, and Miss Kathy Sestak is our new vice chairman for Parks and Recreation. And moving on to the newsletter for this month, we picked a resident spotlight, Miss Alice Snyder, and we picked a business spotlight for the month of September, the Willow Ridge Event Center. So that will be, those two things will be featured in the newsletter for September. Hopefully get that out sometime this weekend. And we started a birthday club at Townsend Elementary. So once a month, towards the end of the month, we're going to go into the school, and Miss Connie has got numbers for us on how many kids are going to have a birthday for that month. And then what we're just doing is bringing some birthday celebration to those children and bringing them some birthday bags with school-approved toys and popsicles, school-approved treats. And so the kids, we did one in August, was our first one, and we included the July birthdays. And they were so excited. We sang to them, so we sang happy birthday to them, and they had a really good time. And that was about the last 30 minutes of school, but we only held them for a few minutes. But it was just a way to celebrate our kids and give them something to look forward to for their birthday. And okay, moving along to the Christmas parade manual and application. We should be able to open it up for people to start applying for the parade towards the end of this month. There's just a couple of things that we need to add to the manual for safety reasons, as far as tossing out candy and stuff. We would really like to ask that the bigger rigs in the parade try to do escorts or walkers on each side this year, and try to help alleviate some of the concern for children running out maybe towards a bigger unit, and just I know that we've done really well though. I mean, the safety of the parade has been excellent, so we haven't had any issues, but just maybe an extra precautionary measure for the manual that people will sign when they enter into the parade. So I will keep you all updated on what it says. I can send you a copy of what the Parks and Rec Board has in mind as far as the language to add to the manual. And then we should be able to start opening it up for applications towards the end of the month because Gala is already getting phone calls about the parade. So we're very excited. Last month I did mention the theme of the parade was a very Merry Christmas, and Mr. Brett Smith, he actually came up with the theme for the parade, but we also kind of thought that it was fitting to do the bears because our bears have been such a big topic of discussion lately. I've been hearing a lot of people talk about, how can we be more bear-wise? And so one of the things around the theme of the parade this year that we really want to try to push is work with ABR and Appalachian Bear Rescue and just do some extra education and outreach since the theme is our bears. And so we want to learn how we can be more bear-wise. And I thought that the theme is very fitting for that reason and because it has been such a hot topic. So last thing I'll say is we had our third bingo night last night and we had 60 people come, players, and that has been such a huge hit already. So we plan to do one once a month, and usually when I put out the RSVPs, people will book it up in just a few days, and so we had a lot of fun. So I really encourage y'all, if you haven't come to a bingo night yet, we will plan one for October and we'll get that date out as soon as we can.
Make sure you come earlier, you'll be seated in the floor.
Yeah, Ruby had to sit on the floor last night.
That's a good problem to have.
Yes, it is, yes. I believe that, oh, one more thing about the Special People's Park. So last month we gave the presentation on with Edge Engineering. So Gala did check with Angie Carrier because that was one of the things we needed to check on to make sure, to see if we needed to get more estimates or quotes. So I do actually need to get one or two more quotes so that we have multiple. So the Edge Engineering has not started yet on the project. I told them to hold off. They completely understood. And so I'm going to get one or two more quotes together for us to look at before we move forward with the architectural drawings and the structural engineering. Okay? And I think that's all I got.
Will the estimates be for developing the design, or are they going to give you an estimate for building existing design to your finance?
Developing a design.
Developing?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Satterfield. Sorry for bypassing you. I didn't.
That's okay.
Great report as
Thank you.
usual. Thanks for all the work on the Christmas parade. It's hard to believe it's that time of year.
I know.
We have a much-loved Christmas parade. So, Commissioners, any other questions for Commissioner Satterfield? Okay, now let's go to the next item on our agenda, Townsend Case Go Gateway Alliance.
Hello. Congratulations, first off, to all of y'all. So congratulations. We trust that you're going to serve us well. Really, that we're excited to actually announce that we have distributed some of the donations for the Balloon Festival, or we're in the process of distributing. We haven't made those written the actual checks yet, but we do have some estimated numbers in, and so that's really what we're going to report tonight from the Hot Air Balloon Festival. So it looks like that we're going to be approximately donating $10,000 to the volunteer fire department and $3,000 to the school. So those are approximate numbers, and so what we'll do is those will be final whenever we actually get the check. And so and we'll be presenting that. And as far as the dates, we're working on trying to get everybody together to promote that, and we'll have it on our social media pages and stuff. So when that happens. But that's it for now. We're just working on the new year and planning that out. But other than that, that's it for now.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Commissioners, any questions?
I have a question just because I'm new.
Yes, sir.
So this totals $13,000.
Yes, sir.
And this is part out of the profits.
Yes, sir.
Is this half the profits, a third of the profits?
Well, at this
100%
point right now, we
profits?
still have expenses coming in.
Yeah.
So we still have expenses coming in
Okay.
right now. It's the portion that we have decided to donate at this point.
Okay, so it's not necessarily a fixed amount of, or a fixed percentage of
No,
the
sir,
profits?
no.
Fixed
Every
amount.
year, the balloon festival itself is a fundraiser for TCGA,
Right.
and then the board gets together and decides at that point based on what's maybe going on that year. So it may go to different areas each year and different percentages. We've talked about a few other things, but there's not been any final decision on some other things.
Thank you.
So, you're welcome.
Okay, commissioners, any other questions? Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you, Becky.
Okay, next up, Townsend Community Plan update. Mr. Hope.
It's good to follow festivals that are donating in our community, so I appreciate what you guys are doing. I have one of those too. It's a good feeling. Update on the CPAC. Had a good meeting earlier. We are up to, well, we closed the first survey at 849 responses. Really happy with that. We have a plan. We were really loving percentages from 18, the age group from 18 to 28, and actually really kind of all the way up to 35. So we're gonna work on a plan to reach kind of some of the young adult or the young, what do they call them, young adult groups here in Townsend, probably via the churches. Talking with Jill a little bit later about that. We are getting close to our vision statement. It looks like the October 18th event, which the flyers will be out here before too long, I'll mention that again here in a second, will really kind of consolidate all that. It'll be a lot of one-on-one conversations, a lot of in-person at the Heritage Center, October 18th, 4:30 to 6:30. The flyers will be going out. They'll be on our social media pages. We'll probably have them printed out so we can get them handed out in the community. Probably put some stacks at the various places up and down town to make everybody aware of that. That agenda's that's just getting talked about and worked out right now. It's not finalized exactly when and what and how things are going to happen, but we're getting close on that. We really enjoy working with SE Group. We really appreciate you guys letting us kind of work with them. They're just spot on. Also, we're working with ETDD, which we understand that we can say ETAD now, and that's kosher. But Kim has just been, he's a mastermind when it comes to the economic part. And the two groups are working together very, very well. So it's really good to see. Let's see. Economic research has started. The scrubbing of the last document to compile the new document is ongoing. It looks like the culmination after the October 18th meeting, heading into January 1st, will be just a massive amount of work for both consultants and the committee. We should have a lot more to report in the next few meetings. Let's see back. Let's see. I think that's all I have. If there's any questions.
Will you go into detail more about the October 18th?
Yeah, well, what I know.
Okay.
So we're still working a lot of the details out.
Okay.
So October 18th, the SEG's coming in, IDA's coming in. ETVD will be up. Their teams are coming in also, my understanding. That event from 4:30 to 6:30 specifically is what we're working on right now. That'll be in the amphitheater at the Heritage Center. The flyers will reflect the fact, I don't have one, they all got handed out. But they'll be based on that for the community to come out and have those conversations and ask those final questions.
Will there be a place inside in case it gets cold for the amphitheater outside?
I don't know that yet.
In case it rains or does something?
Do they have I'm not that familiar with the Heritage Center, but they have a place inside?
Well, when the Blue Ribbon County thing where you had all the baked goods and stuff, there's an area there, so I don't know.
Okay.
what
I
it's
told
called.
Logan we would be up there before too long to kind of work out the logistics. Yeah, to have a cold weather. I love the cold, so this is my time of year. Any other questions?
I've got a difficult question for you.
Sure.
And I doubt if you can answer it tonight. But when I was running for election, I asked people how they felt about the community plan group.
Yeah.
And 80% of the people were concerned about the fact that we were spending $100,000 to do this.
Mhm.
Is there any chance that we could do some cost savings on this plan, either by scaling something back or finding a different way to get something done? And I know you don't want to answer that question.
Well, I'll tell you the answer to that question because I ran for the same office
Yeah.
and I didn't hear any of those concerns
Okay. Well, I had 80% of the people,
that you talked to.
no, that answered my survey. Okay.
Yeah, we haven't got, I haven't got there, but I will tell you this. I think the goal, we had 2 other people in the race that were hired consultants. And not only did they give us a good price, but they made it cost effective for us as far as a monthly toll. I would say, because my goal is to do this as inexpensive for the city as possible, that if that should arise, I would say we would probably jump on it. Any other questions?
Just a couple more questions, Mr. Hope. So there was actually quite a lot of information that was shared at the Community Plan Advisory Committee this afternoon, like the results of the survey. How can people become aware of some of that information?
So today's PowerPoint, we've already made arrangements to have that posted. That was part of our discussion, to have the results, or at least the PowerPoint.
Okay.
And it gives a lot of information in there. The first presentation she made had a lot of really good information in it, as far as the percentages of where the people were coming from. But it was only, I don't exactly remember, but it was probably half of where we were at the final, just in numbers. So I do know October 18th, when they really finalize all the data, and this has been a question coming from the CPAC committee too, is we wanted to know exactly, as far as people answering surveys or answering questions in a public forum, where they live, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Whether city residents, 37882, that's always been a big deal for the community.
I think that would be interesting to see the demographic data. I'm just interested in what people think.
Yeah.
It's important about Townsend. And so we'll find that information in that presentation, some of those results about what our residents had to say and what things they think are important for Townsend. They can go to our website.
Yeah.
It's on the city website.
We have a page, don't we? We have a CPAC page, community plan on there, that should keep everybody updated to that. And we'll try to keep dumping all that information over there. And like what was said in the meeting, and I think you brought it up and a few others too, that what we are noticing, what's important for the residences, has been important for the people that also visit here. So, thus, our vision statement is really forming very nicely.
Very good. Other questions, Commissioner?
Have a good evening.
Okay, thank you. All right, that brings us down to the first opportunity for public input for items on the agenda. So on our agenda tonight, we're going to talk about nuisance bears, and we have 7 special event applications that have been made. So if anybody would like to come now and provide any input to the Board of Commissioners for things that are on our agenda, now's your opportunity to come and give us some input. Did anybody sign up to speak?
I'll say a word or two. Dan Dickey, my wife Debbie. We've lived in Townsend for 17 years. We're down next to the Riverstone Restaurant. And first 4 or 5 years, we didn't see any bears. And then the last 4 or 5 years, we started to see a lot. This year, as y'all know, was really bad. And I would just ask the commission to consider an ordinance for bear-proof dumpsters in the city of Townsend. I think, being bear wise, it sounds like that would facilitate a grant.
Yeah, that goes along with the grant, but I'm also working on a separate ordinance that would require businesses in the city to have their
Right.
cans.
We had a terrible problem next to us, but we finally convinced the restaurant operator to put bear-proof dumpsters in. And that's what it takes. PWRA, they do not trap and relocate bears anymore. They trap and euthanize. They supplied us with rubber bullets, 12 gauge, shotgun shells, and we're shooting those at the city limits. Of course, I talked to Chief too. But the only other, alternative they have is bear-proof dumpsters. So, once we get rid of the source, hopefully the bears go back to the woods. I like bears just like anybody else. But, it's not fair to them, it's not fair to us. Somebody's going to get hurt. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Dickey. We appreciate that comment.
I just want to add that it's more than just bear-proof dumpsters. They did get bear-proof dumpsters next door to us, but then they proceeded to not use them. So trash all over the yard again after they already had the dumpster. So education is also key. People need to know.
Thank you, Mr. Dickey. Yeah, I think bears are part of life here in Townsend. And I think what we're doing with having Galen involved with the Bear-Wise Task Force, looking at this grant for the trash compactor, looking at ordinances and things as y'all have suggested, hopefully will help us. Because, we like bears, but we like bears in the woods doing what they're supposed to be doing there, and it becomes problematic when they come down into town, into our yards and around things. So we appreciate that comment. Okay. Any other comment?
We have a couple of question marks. Mary Jenkins?
Mary Jenkins, I'll just go along with them. We live down the street from the Abbey, and we have bears come for a while every night. And the Abbeys, sometimes their trash is so high up, they can't even close the lid. And I had a neighbor walking and running in the morning, and bears on top of theirs, and there's frequently, I won't say always, frequently trash from their dumpster, because they serve a lot of food, and their dumpster is not locked in any way at all. So that we need an ordinance that if you're going to have food in dumpsters as a business, you have to have it locked or bear-proof, and some kind of timeline would be nice to know, because I know this month and next month are bear season, because they're fattening up for the winter. So we have bears a lot, and so we don't put our trash in our garbage can until the morning in the garbage can, because we found out quickly. And so they go from the Abbey over to where the Pizza Hut is, their dumpster, and I think there's another one not far around, so apparently they're getting into them. Thank you.
Appreciate those observations as well. So, again, bears are part of our life here, but we need to take steps to make sure that we're keeping everybody safe and doing what we need to do. So we will follow up on that. Any other comments?
Christina? You had a question, Mark?
Delaney? No. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Anybody that last minute wants to give us a comment? Okay. Thank you all very much. We'll move on to new business. First item, Samantha Chipperfield from KOA will come and talk to us about concerned residents about nuisance bears.
Well, I think that was basically our group.
That was it? Yeah. Debbie did your comment there. Okay.
Sorry. So you're fine.
All right. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate that, and we are going to, I think, take a look at these ordinances and things we have with respect to bears. Okay. Let's move on to the next item on our agenda. This is a special event application for the Heritage Tractor and Engine Club Fall Show. I'm a member of this club, so I'm going to recuse myself from this, and I will pass it over to the Vice Mayor to lead us through this special event application.
Okay, so Commissioners, we have a special event application from the Little River Railroad Museum, and do we have a representative from the museum this evening? Okay.
The event will be hosted at the museum, but it's actually sponsored by the Heritage Tractor.
Event name, Heritage Tractor and Engine Club Fall Show, yes.
If I'm not mistaken, I think this is their second or third year having it at this location. Not at this location, I know that this is their third year, maybe their second year at this location.
Yes.
I know Mr. Sparks is at work, he works for the ambulance service, so he could not be here tonight.
I was looking for Dana at the Railroad Museum, but I was also looking for Michael too. Okay. All right, so Gayla sent this to us already quite some time ago, so we've had a chance to look at this. Are there any questions about the special event application that we need further discussion on? Well, let me see if I have a motion first to accept this special event application, and then we can open it up for discussion.
Make a motion to accept the Heritage Tractor and Engine Club special event application.
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion about this application?
It looks like they requested a fee waiver.
Mhm. Yes.
We'll be able to do that for them.
Okay, any more further discussion on this application?
That's the same question. I
Okay,
clarified
the fee
on
waiver.
C3, so we'll have to
Okay.
let them know.
Yes. Okay. Can we amend that motion then to include the fee waiver?
Make a motion to approve the fee waiver for the
Okay.
Heritage Tractor Club.
Okay. All right, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Without further discussion, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? All right, and the mayor did abstain.
Okay. Thank you very much, Vice Mayor. Let's go to the next special event application. This is for the ABR Barely 5K Run. It will be held October the 26th at 10 a.m. Location 121 Painted Trillium Way. The sponsor's name, Dana Dodd, on behalf of ABR. Let's see what else I can tell you about this event. There will not be food vendors, and it looks like we will put up small 10 by 10 tents. And let's see. What is the estimated participation or attendance in this event?
Well, last year we had just over 400 people sign up. However, we allow them to sign up in person or virtually, and there were probably 50 people who actually were here of the 400 because our supporters are scattered all over the world. So I don't think, I put down 100, trying to be sure that we cover everything from a city standpoint, but I think that's probably generous for how many will actually be here participating.
Okay. And you've got the route that's specified.
We do. And we don't mark the streets or anything like that. We actually position our volunteers along the way, trying to point people in the right direction. We go out of Trillium Cove and take a left on, I think it's a Bridge Road, right after the Ace Hardware, and get to the back road, and go all the way down to the Catholic Church, and come back out, and then they're on the sidewalk coming back. And what we've done since 2015, doing that kind of route, is we've positioned some of our board members at the IGA and at the turn to the post office, because really those are the only two crossings that we worry very much about. And we want to be sure, our race is a barely 5K. We do not, it's not timed, and really most of the people are here to walk and enjoy their day and supporting the Bears. So nobody really minds if our board member stops them because cars are turning in to the grocery store or anything like that.
So you've anticipated some of our questions. Let me see if I can get a motion on the floor. I have a motion to approve the special event application.
Make a motion to approve ABR's Fairly 5K
Do I have a
application.
do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Chief Condi, have you had a chance to look at this one and the route? Any concerns with this?
I did, not any concern, I've done it before and we don't have any problems with it. It's small race, no problem.
Okay, thank you. All right. Commissioners, any other questions about this special event?
I have a question about signage. How do you handle the signage?
Well, we have these cutout black bears that we've had for years, and we do put arrows on them, and so those are at the major turns. But as the last person goes, our volunteer who's at that turn picks up that bear and brings it back to our facility. So there is no signage that goes up for the event. We advertise everything on our social media platforms online.
Thank you.
Okay.
And we don't want to do the fee request waiver.
That's fine, we're fine either way, but we'd appreciate that if we
Okay,
can.
it just has to be done.
Okay,
Okay, so there's a request for a fee waiver.
sure.
Okay, can we amend the motion to include waiving a $100 fee?
I make a motion to waive the $100 fee for the ABR.
Okay, that'll
Lots
do
of
it.
baby bears?
We have 26 cubs and we have 1 yearling. And I appreciate the discussion earlier about the bears. I tend not to call them nuisance bears. The bears get into trouble because we people tend to do things that invite them in. And it's not a good idea. We have 10 cubs this year simply because their mothers were euthanized because they hurt people. Our calls earlier this year through the summer, I'm sure you've seen it on the news, they were heavily weighted toward Gatlinburg. The state has put down, I think, 23 bears this year so far due to human-bear conflict, and 18 of those have been within the city limits of Gatlinburg. So all summer long, we received call after call, and most of them were coming from bears in trash situations or drawn into a community because of unsecured trash. And then we end up with those cubs. And we're working with the businesses there. We are Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency's Bear-Wise partner. So we don't sit on the task force, but we advise the task force and we attend all of those meetings. It's been quite a job this summer. Our team is training employees of different businesses. We spend all kinds of money and time making sure that we're available to provide any training that helps these businesses keep their patrons, keep their employees, keep everyone safe, because it can be very dangerous when the bears are coming right to the business. And living here in Townsend, and I think most of you know I live in Nashville too, but I love Townsend. I don't want to see that kind of thing happen in our town. Like, it's not okay with me, and I don't think it's okay with most anybody in Townsend. And we don't need bears put down in behind our businesses or in our neighborhoods because we're not being on top of it and making sure that we're securing trash. And really, that's the biggest part of the job. I mean, if you're a citizen, take down your bird feeders. Please feed your birds from January 1st until the middle of March. That's when bears are mostly asleep and you can get by with it. If we have a really warm winter, go ahead and bring your feeders in at night. But from all of us out in the community, if you see trash, that's the problem, and we got to clean it up. And we won't have the problem, we won't be the business, and we won't be the town that's in the bad news column week after week after week.
Thanks, Pam. We appreciate that education along with your special event application.
Thank you.
Commissioners, any further questions on this special event?
I've got a question. Just because there's probably some business owners here, are bear-proof dumpsters readily available, or are they hard to get?
It kind of depends. It depends on where you are and who your providers are. And here in Townsend, TCE has bear-proof dumpsters now. When we have our own bear-proof dumpster that we bought. TCE empties that dumpster every week. but they didn't offer them back when we bought ours in 2014. But I've seen lots of them around town, and the ones that they work with seem to work, as long as we remember to close the lids and secure the latches. Like that kind of thing has to happen. Some other providers, maybe it's a little harder, but we are working with some of those as well, encouraging them to offer those things. If you want to do business in Townsend, it's kind of a requirement of the operation, because if you don't, you're going to have a bear in your dumpster when your employee goes back at night to take out the last trash. And it's funny, and it's part of Townsend, it's part of living in their territory, but it also puts people at great risk. 7 different people in Gatlinburg have been physically harmed by bears this year. Fortunately, none of them have been seriously injured, but 7 different people have been hurt, and that's more than a little scratch.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, any other questions? Okay. All in favor of approving this special event application with the fee waiver, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Application is approved. Thank you very much.
And last year, we did the pumpkins at the school, kids did them, and we had them out here. But is that something that we can donate them for food, or do they eat that? Or?
I don't know about the pumpkins this year. I haven't spoken with Todd about those
I
yet.
know we picked them out, but I
Yeah.
don't know if we can have them for food.
Have them for food.
Do they eat them?
They really, yes, they do. We do not feed them pumpkins at our place, simply because if you've seen, TWRA and Gatlinburg have recommended that the businesses do not decorate with corn stalks and live or real pumpkins this year. Every year it's a problem in the city because the bears will drag them out into the streets and everything else. So they will eat them, but it's just, it would kind of be the same thing for us as like, they eat watermelon too, but it's not the greatest idea for us to feed them watermelon.
We're learning a lot about bears tonight, so thank you very, very much. Let's move on to the next special event application. This is for the Run Santa Run Smokies event to be held December the 8th, 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the Townsend Visitor Center. Organizer is Jay Evans. Let me see what I can tell you about this event. Give you the dates and times. It's a sports competition race. It will be timed. Race and walk. And let's see, traffic control is just needed. No. Okay. Let's see. All right. Anticipated attendance. Here it is. 400 people at the event. And then let's see. I think those are the main things. So. Let me see if I have a motion to approve the Run Santa Run Smokies special event application.
Have we had this one here before?
I think last year was the first one. Last year was the second.
Yep, we'll get it up for discussion with a motion, and then we'll ask for the, Mr. Nevins, you can tell us about it.
Well, I just wanted to say this, we've rebranded the race.
Okay.
We did do this race last year, but it was at a Santa Hustle. And we're no longer working with that organization, so we've kind of started our own so we can have a little bit more flexibility. And we had about 500 people last year, so we're expecting fewer this year with the rebrand.
Okay. That's good. Okay, can I get a motion on this event?
Make a motion to approve the Santa Run Smokies.
Okay, second?
Second.
Okay, that gets it up for discussion. Mr. Nevins, would you like to say anything else about the event?
That as far as I actually wasn't here, my company put this on, but I plan to be here for this one this year. As far as I know, it went fairly smoothly. We tied, pardon the pun, but we we time the activity to hopefully catch the least traffic amount, and we try to keep all the runners on the visitors, Townsend Visitor Center side of the road. We had plans last year, a really complicated course with minimal signage, but we got a lot of rain that day, and there was about 6 inches of water in each of the tunnels going underneath the road. So we simplified and tried to keep everything as safely as possible for all the runners, and I think that we were successful, and I think we're going to stay with that team this year to keep everything really simple. And to go to the signage question, we try to use minimal signage as much as we can. We actually, this year we have, assuming it doesn't rain a few days before, but we have branded duct tape. Our logo is on duct tape, and we just use that to do the arrows where we need them. But really, it's just a straight shot down the greenway, and under, I believe it's the south end, we go under briefly and then we come back. So there's very few turns, and most of the signage is just used to mark mile markers, and then our suite picks them up after the last runner.
Okay, so you put up a sign that has the duct tape on it, you're not putting the
No,
duct
the
tape
duct tape's on the ground.
on the ground, but you're gonna pick up all that duct
Yes, it
tape?
all gets picked up.
Every bit of it?
Every bit of it, plus more usually.
Okay, I don't see a route on here. Did we get a route?
Yeah, I sent, the route was sent as a Google link, and I
Oh,
emailed
okay.
it whenever I sent out on the Google link.
I see. Okay. And Chief, have you looked at this route?
That's the ones we looked at online today, you showed me, right? Yes, I have, and it's fine, they're off the roadway, so it's not a traffic issue at all. I was wondering, we're talking a lot about bears. Do you think we can improve the runners' times any if we got some of the bears
They will carry candy cookies, Christmas cookies and candy canes. So
Okay.
right.
So, no, shouldn't be any problem there.
Commissioners, any other questions on this one?
Do you know who your fundraiser is benefiting yet? It says to be announced, I didn't know.
I do not. We formally work with Keep Severe Beautiful,
Okay.
and I'm working with Laura Howard with that, and I'm not sure, she's kind of the captain, and we just kind of go with whatever charity she's handling that year.
Okay.
But you're not severe.
But we're not severe, exactly. It will be a Townsend charity.
All right. Commissioners, any other questions? Okay. All in favor of the Run Santa Run Smokies event on December the 12th, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, none opposed, the event is approved. Thank you. Okay, let's move to the next one. Special event application for the Whiskey Run Smokies. Whiskey Run Smokies. February the 9th from 6 to 12, location Townsend Visitor Center. Oh, Mr. Nevins again.
Actually, there's been we're hoping to start and finish from company distilling, so that might be deep. I don't know if I got that wrong on my application, but anyway, that's our plan. We've already worked with them to find a date that works for them, and it's a very similar race. It's just we're going to do a run and then do whiskey sampling afterwards.
If you have on here 400 people, where are they going to?
Oh, I don't think that one's not supposed to be 400. This is a seed first year event, and I would be thrilled if we had 150.
Okay.
Are they going to park on their site though?
Yeah, theirs, and they said that their neighbor there often helps. They've reached out to, I'm not sure which neighbor it was, but they said they've had bigger events there before, and they rely on their neighbor for additional parking.
Okay.
And again, the route would be very similar. We just cross under and stay on the greenway on the Townsend visitor side. Again, we're just trying to avoid all those busy intersections on the other side.
So are you going to cross there at the bridge at the IGA, or are you actually going to be crossing the road, or are you all using the bridge access?
We're going to go under.
Okay.
Chief Gandhi?
Yeah, so just for some clarity, if you're starting a company distilling on that side of the roadway,
Yes, sir.
you're going down, to get to the first tunnel, you're going to have to cross Where's Valley Road?
Okay, I thought there was a tunnel further down.
No, the last tunnel's there in front of IGA.
Okay, well, not be just starting across the road then. Because we don't want anybody crossing Ware Valley Road.
Yeah, my suggestion would be start across the road.
Yeah, we'll do
That would be a nightmare. to
Yeah,
try
I totally agree.
to work with.
We'll do that.
Okay, yeah, good deal.
Okay, make a note of that. I'm gonna start.
So you may have to have people park at Tally Ho.
Okay, we can reach out to them too.
Because if you park on Distilling and then you have to walk across, that's a lot of people going across.
I agree.
That's probably who you talk to. That's who they use, that's who has given them in the past with their events at the distillery. That, I think that's where their overflow is parked at Michael's place. So that's probably who they're talking about.
And I'm kind of, obviously, a little bit in charge, and I've decided our charity on this one is going to be the Bear charity.
Okay. But you haven't talked to the Tally Ho to see if you can organize it with them yet?
Not yet, but, I mean, company distilling said it shouldn't be an issue, but I can finalize all that for sure. If y'all would like to wait till the next meeting, I'm fine with that.
I might rather wait, I think, just to make sure we've got the route
Sure.
all in place, but. All right, I don't think we've made a motion on this one yet, so let's have this one come back.
No problem.
All right,
Thanks for your time.
thank you very much. Moving right along, next one is the Smoky Mountain Salty Dog Seafood Festival. This festival will be held on June the 13th through the 15th, 2025 at the Townsend Visitor Center. Let's see what I can tell about this one. Let's see. Vice Mayor, I'm going to recuse myself on this one since it is something to do with food. I'll let you run it, just in case.
All right. Okay, so the special event application for the Smoky Mountain Salty Dog Seafood Festival, do we have a representative here for this festival? Okay, would you like to come up to the microphone, please? All right, so it says this festival is set to be June 13th through the 15th of 2025. Let's see, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the Townsend Visitor Center. And I'll just go ahead and read the description that was put on the application. So the purpose of the Smoky Mountain Salty Dog Seafood Festival is to bring tourism dollars to Townsend and Blount County. The festival will feature freshly cooked seafood and non-seafood, live music, and handmade arts and crafts. So I think this is the first time that you would be having a festival in Townsend?
Correct.
Okay. So how many of these festivals have you all had before in other places?
Done them for 20 years.
For 20 years?
And I basically do them in smaller towns, Young Harris, Georgia.
Okay.
Population 600.
Okay.
Powder Springs. What we do is we serve fresh seafood, of course, and it's not locals from across the United States.
Okay.
And it's we have to have refrigerated trucks come in with them because when you're sold out, you're sold out. So, you know, we have these large refrigerated trucks come in. They cook to order. It's not pre-cooked, they cook to order. We have live music for 3 days. The music, people are under a VIP tent, which those tickets are sold. And that money goes, 100% of those proceeds go to Folds of Honor, which is a veterans organization in Tennessee, which is very near and dear to my heart. My whole family's been veterans, from my 5 sons down to my husband, to my father, to on and on. So I deal with them at I have a festival in Chattanooga, I have Powder Springs, I have one in Knoxville, I have one in Augusta, and I have one in Macon. We all use that same charity. So 100% of the proceeds goes to them. The bands come in, they play. We serve them a meal, which is unheard of. And it's not a seafood meal, it's a meal. You know, you're gonna come in, you're gonna pay whatever, like one night we'll offer a soul night. So we're gonna have soul food.
Okay.
Okay, and then we're gonna have soul music.
Okay.
We have all genre music, it's not just, young, old. Then we have, like Aiken that's coming up for me next weekend. they're very huge in the shag music. So we have a good shagging contest, okay? Which, I don't know a thing about shagging, but I tell you, I learned really quickly. So we're having a shagging contest there, and just different things. I gotta laugh at one thing you guys talk about there. I do a festival in Helen during the Oktoberfest, which is coming up this weekend for me. In fact, this weekend we will be there. And we deal with bears because we've got the food, we've got the peanuts, we've got sweets, we've got pretzels, we've got funnel cakes, and I make my food vendors, just my food vendors, have secure lids, lid locks on their food, and they take it away at night. So we would do the same here.
Okay.
Okay, my food vendors would be barefoot because we're already doing it at one place. So I'm familiar with coming in and seeing garbage dispersed.
Okay.
We are in their area in town, right in the middle of town, in a big field. So, staff was going to come out when they smell food. So we've been there for 10 years. First 2 years were a nightmare because we did not have those containers. The last 7 have been great.
Okay.
So we are aware of the bear situation.
Okay, and as far as the live music, when you said that it would be for all 3 days,
Yes,
and, okay, what's the time for the live music?
It would be Friday 1 to 9,
Mm-hmm.
Saturday 10 to 9,
Okay.
and Sunday 12 to 4. And that's continuous music. They play for 90 minutes. We have a 30-minute change out, and then another 90 minutes, and a 30-minute change out.
Okay.
And then we have an opening band and a headliner at night.
Okay.
That's where we do the VIP meal, and 100% of those proceeds go to Folds of Honor. And normally, we pull in a good amount of money. We do not collect the money. We use a company called Stride, which actually does the tickets, collects the money, and sends the check directly to them. So I don't have income coming in and income going out.
Okay. Chief, have you reviewed this application already?
Yeah, I'm hungry. We need to do whatever we need to do to make this work. 2 reasons, because of the food, obviously, but Folds of Honor, outstanding organization. They're supporting that. They got my support.
One thing I will tell you is we are serving beer, and we have all beer training through the TBA or ABC, whatever you want to call it. And we do use the ID visitor scanners, which is what they recommend. So everybody gets scanned, and then they are tagged, and the tags turn each day. All of our bartenders are serviced well. So we are properly trained in everything through distribution. In 20 years, we've never had a violation, and I've passed all inspections.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
I have one question. It says parking fee. Have you talked to the fire department about parking?
Yes, I talked to Miss Tammy, I believe, and she told me that it would be, that they would collect the money. I don't have a problem with that at all. So, the only concern I have, and I always have had, is for my full spot.
Amy, have you reached out to Chief Stines about that yet?
We have not had a chance to connect. I was waiting for her to get her approvals and then we would.
Okay.
No, she has talked to me about it,
Yeah, that's fine.
and I do not have an issue with it.
Okay, and, let's see, there's the, yeah, I've already read through this. Do we have a motion to accept this special event application?
Questions?
Yeah, yes, go ahead.
First of all, it said on here that they're going to have 6 banners, and they're each going to be 3 by 6. And so when I did the math, I came up with 108 square feet, and we have a limit of 32 square feet. Right? Is that what it says here?
I'm sure that's what it says. When the application went in, I'm new to the area. So you're gonna have to allow me to the air of not knowing all the
So you're
signage
going to
permits.
change this?
yes, sir. I will be in accordance with everything. I just do not know the signing permits. I do not know how far apart my food vendors have to be. We haven't got to those depths of things that I know that, they need special case, they're using this, regular fire extinguisher, and I know all that. I just don't know the basic requirements of Townsend Bank. For that is a mistake I did make.
Tammy, could you answer a question for me? On here, in this, because I'm a newbie.
Yeah.
It says, event organizer is responsible for reporting event and vendor revenues to the state of Tennessee as required by the Tennessee Department of Revenue. And I know that's all part of us getting the sales tax credit. In general, how do you do that? Do you go around to each vendor and say, how much did you sell this weekend?
Each vendor is responsible for their own taxes. As the event organizer, we're responsible for contacting the state of Tennessee and letting them know we're having an event. They give each event a specific tax code that when the vendor is applying their taxes and filling out all their paperwork, they affix that code so they know they received those revenues at an event in Townsend.
Okay.
And I'm happy to assist organizers in that process.
And
just
as
didn't
a
know.
promoter, I'm required to turn that information in the same as I'm required to turn into the police and the chief, everything that my vendors, who they are, what they're doing, all that. So, yes, we are required, especially not for
I have one more question now. Are your vendors aware that there is a special permit that they have to have for the
Yes.
city too? Okay.
Yes. Tammy has made me aware of that. There isn't anything Tammy and I have not discussed in depth, one complete afternoon.
I make a motion to accept the special event application for the Smoky Mountain Salty Dog Seafood Festival.
Okay, do I have a second? Do I have a second? Okay, I will second. Okay, any further discussion?
I just want to make one statement.
Okay.
I'm having trouble understanding how this is related to Townsend's heritage and history. It just seems like an event to make money. That's just a comment, not a question.
Okay.
I can explain a little bit more.
You're welcome to.
Okay. When a vendor pays to come into the event, a food vendor and an arts and crafts vendor, that money, my books are open at any given time, as I have had a discussion with Tammy, and she has a complete binder of everything. When they pay to come in, that money that is accumulated goes to paying my bands, my band manager and my sound, which can accommodate up to about $30,000 to $35,000, okay? The tents and stuff, we usually go after sponsorship money for. The beer sales and stuff like that is where I, as a promoter, is the money I make. I don't make it off of anything else because realistically, it's got to go into promoting a successful event. And that includes feeding the people that are coming to the VIP, making sure they have a good experience, making sure that when I come back year after year, we're grown. Now, as we grow, then the money increases. I don't make money the first 5 years of the festival. It just doesn't happen. So I don't get rich off of it. I'm sure the lady with the hot air balloons can say the same thing. I do because I love it. I'm retired, and I love to watch people try new seafood, new tastes. A lot of people don't even know what comforters are. Stuff that comes out of Key West, this is stuff that's specially made. It's just an overall good family, clean event with a benefit to, Folds of Honor is our fire, it's our police, it's our first responders, it's our EMS, and of course it's all of our veterans. So that is very, very dear to me.
How much would tickets be?
I don't know until the highest ticket price we have right now is $40 or 2 for $35.
And that's just for your VIP.
Right, that's just to get in and you get a meal and you're listening to music and you have a seat. You're seated at a table that is covered with.
Now, is that just at the VIP? What if we just came in just to do your vendors?
We have, if you look at the map, we actually have regular seating under tents in a beer garden, which actually it's called beer and wine garden. It actually has whiskey barrel furniture to give it the ambiance of looking like a beer garden, you know, and it's Jack Daniel's furniture that was specially made for it. We come in fully equipped. We have 5 trailers that come equipped with, you know, tables, chairs, tents. We have professional sound, professional everything.
And it also says handmade arts and crafts.
Yes, ma'am.
That's Townsend. And food. So everybody loves food and handmade arts and crafts. That's, to me, that's part of Townsend too.
I have a seafood festival, I love seafood, so that's why there's regular food there. It's, you know, I mean, the food is good. You're not gonna find anybody who's food traveling from Nevada. A guy comes in from Maryland with the best crab cakes in Maryland. We have a guy coming in from Key West with conch fritters that actually makes them. You know, you'll sit there and watch him make them in front of you. So, I mean, everything is fresh, and if you don't get it, it runs out of stock.
All right. Thank you, Robin.
Right.
Okay, so we have a first and a second on the table. So all those in favor for this festival, say aye. Aye. Those opposed?
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 Okay, so that's
2 and 2.
2 and 2. So it cannot move forward with 2 and 2.
Cannot.
Okay. Mr. Mayor?
Okay. Let's go to the next special event application for East Tennessee Homestead Alliance Festival. This festival will be held September 12th through 13th, 2025. Location is at the Visitor Center. Let's see what else I can tell you about this festival. Anticipated attendance, 500 people. Let's see, they will have 2 large and various vendor tents, speakers, demonstrators equipping the next generation homesteading festival. East Tennessee Homestead Alliance is the sponsor. Total of 60 to 80 vendors. Event is open to the public. There is an admission charge. Okay.
I do believe this is their second year.
I think this is, I do recall this one last year. Event coordinator Sandy Eplett. Sandy here. Would you like to tell us about this event?
Sure. This will be our second year of having this event. It was very successful the first year. We had about 500 in attendance. And exactly what you said in there, it's really equipping this next generation with sustainable skills. We like to reach into the Townsend, Appalachian area where we're bringing in various woodworkers, crafters that are doing their skills so that we can continue to bring in that whole Appalachian heritage that's here in this area. So we have a number of people that come from the Townsend area, Knoxville area, come to the outskirts of the East Tennessee region that are coming in and learning from international, national speakers all about homesteading, sustainability, how to survive in today's chaotic world.
Okay, thank you. Can I get a motion and a second to get this one under discussion?
Make a motion.
Okay, motion to accept the application. Do I have a second?
I'll
Second. You can have it.
Well, thank you.
Okay. Let's see, we've got a motion and a second. Let's see if there's anything else we can ask. Chief Condi, have you taken a look at this one?
Yes, sir, it's fine, no problem.
Okay. All right, commissioners, any questions?
I had questions about the banners. Once again, if you do the math, it looks like we're asking for 90 square feet of banners. We got 3 feet by 10 feet, and we're asking for 3 banners. and we have a limit of 32 square feet.
Tim, did we have a problem with that last year? Did you check the banners when you went into, when you did the walkthrough? Mr. Ogle, did you do it, you did a walkthrough, didn't you? Or did you just go check vendors?
At which event, I'm sorry?
The Homesteader event.
The Homestead Alliance Festival in July, it was held in July, correct? Yes.
Do you remember if there was an issue with the banners?
I don't remember, to be totally honest. Homesteader.
Mayor, maybe I'm reading this wrong, but it says total, 32 square feet total for each. So I took that to mean that the limit is, the total is 32 feet. Maybe that when you wrote this, you meant it to be, each one has a total of 32 square feet.
I'm looking here, Commissioner Jenkins,
Yes.
at the zoning regulations. I'm under number 3, temporary signage for community-wide events. A, B, B. All community-wide events are subject to the following requirements. Each community-wide event is allowed to display no more than 12 off-premise sites that do not exceed 4 square feet in area and 4 feet in height. Only one sign per parcel is allowed. In addition, one off-premise banner and one banner at the event site are allowed. Each banner may not exceed 32 square feet.
So this, the way it's written on the permit, our wording on the permit must not be correct. Because it says 32 square feet total, or 32 square feet each.
I might not have it exactly right on the
Yes, that's
permit.
what
This
I'm
is a
thinking.
relatively new
Yeah, and I'm new at reading. So.
Okay. Okay, we can fix our special event application.
Excuse me, I have a question. I'm sorry. Is that sign ordinance that we're talking about front facing to Lamar Alexander, or are you saying any banner on our property inside? Because that's a totally different conversation. I just want a clarification that we're talking about, because their banner that they only had one on our front fence facing Lamar Alexander. So I just want to make sure that's what we're talking about.
As far as I'm concerned, that's what we're
Okay,
talking.
inside the
Any one on
fence,
your
that's
fence.
totally different. The front facing to Lamar. Okay, just wanted to make sure. Okay.
Okay, we got that sorted out.
Okay.
All right. Commissioners, other questions?
No, not by a ticket.
You can see me ever.
Okay.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor of approving the East Tennessee Homestead Alliance Festival, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, you're permitted. Okay, next special event application. This is for the 6th annual Great Smoky Mountains Hot Air Balloon Festival fundraiser. The date is August the 16th, 2025, 3 to 10 p.m. at the Visitor Center. Organizer is Townsend Gateway Alliance. Let's see what I can tell you about this one. This is the balloon festival that we're familiar with. Visitor Center, there will be live music, a DJ, amplified sound, video, food, beverages, merchandise vendors, 80-plus vendors. Like we've got tents, and will the event be open to the public? Yes, 6,000 to 8,000 people attendance, admission charge $7 to $10. Let's see what else say on here. Yes, it has a light show from 9 to 9:30 p.m. And we have site map. Okay, so this is the balloon festival with light show.
Yes, sir.
All right. So Jill, would you like to tell us about this event?
Well, I mean, what else do you, like, what else do we need, like, you want me to explain a little bit more about?
Anything
It's
else
just
you'd
a-
like to say about
I
the
mean, it's
event?
our 6th annual balloon festival. So TCGA is a nonprofit organization that its mission is to bring enhancements to this community, to preserve the heritage, and to embrace hospitality. And so this particular event is the one fundraiser that we do every year to help bring improvements to the community, as far as like donations to the fire department, which I just made mention of earlier, in the school, and any other thing that the board decides to donate funds to. So, but yes, we did apply. We are applying for the light show, for 20 to 25-minute light show at the end. Yes, sir.
Okay, that's clear.
But it's basically, everything's the same as, I guess, it has been for the last few years, other than just getting better with time. So.
Okay, sounds good. It's clear. Commissioners, can I get a motion and a second for the Great Smoky Mountains Hot Air Balloon Festival fundraiser?
Make a motion to accept the 6th annual hot air balloon festival.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, that gets it up for discussion. Chief Condi, have you had a chance to review this one? You gave us a readout on this past year's festival.
Yes, sir. It's, I don't have any issues with it. We'll start meeting with them after the first year. Sometime I expect to coordinate, we'll start planning for it. And by the time it rolls around, we'll be ready to go.
Okay, sounds good. Commissioners, questions?
I'd like you to explain the light show.
It's just a laser light show that is going to end the event. It's going to be the exact same company and the same thing that happened this past year, or last month.
Am I mistaken, did you guys get fined for having the laser light?
We
show?
did, and we paid the fine.
Yeah.
That was at last year's show. That has nothing to do with this year's show. It was this coming year, we're filing the permit now.
Can I have the name of the company that's going to do your laser light show? Because I know that there's a lot of
Yeah, I'll have to get
regulations.
that. I don't have it with me right now. I can't remember the name of it right off the top of my head. But I can get it.
I spent a day reading books about laser light shows and the amount of regulations involved, and the fact that some are very good and some of them are fly by night, especially ones.
It's a very professional show, but yes, I
I'd
can
like
get
to
it.
have it. I'd like to know what their certification is.
I can't, do you know the name right off?
Not off the top of my head
I
now.
can get it. I mean,
No,
while
but he
you are
does them all
discussing,
over the United States.
I'll get it for you while we're talking about it, while you are discussing.
I would like you all to reach out to the house that the light goes through at the top of the mountain, and make sure it's okay with their owner, if they're aware, or if we've never had a complaint, but I would just like for you all to reach out to them. And I do not, do you know who that is, Kevin, that lives up there, that the light show goes right through their windows? There's a house on the mountain, and the lights go right through the windows.
We're definitely happy to do
shows.
that. I just have to.
Have you all thought about doing a drone light show where it stays down on the
They're about
ground?
$30,000 to $40,000. They're not inexpensive.
We did have the discussion, and we have continued to have more discussions about how we can eliminate the risk of the cost of the balloon show, because if the weather is like, you know, I mean, the weather really dictates the actual festival, so we are talking about some other options too, and the drone show has been one of them.
One of the things she mentioned about up on the mountainside, when I was reading this book, it basically said some of the dangers of a light show are people that have epilepsy, even if they're not in the light show, they're out on the street, effects of people on mountainsides and on elevated roadways, and the wildlife on those mountains. Those were all highlighted in the book. And so it seems like a lot of those could apply to us. And we need to be cautious about what we approve.
Okay. City manager, do we have any complaints from the community on last year's light show or any other previous year's light show?
Not to City Hall, no. If there were comments made, it was on local Facebook groups.
Okay. Well, I'm glad y'all are asking about it up front. That's
And that was an honest mistake on our part last time.
We understand that.
Yes.
So it's better to be clear about it right up front.
Well, absolutely. That's just a professional way to do it.
Commissioners, any other questions? Okay, so we do have something that Commissioner Jenkins has raised about the safety of the light show. And y'all might not be able to answer it immediately, but is that something that y'all could provide?
I'm sorry, I've got the name of it's called Laser Encore. And I'll forward it to Kelsey. I just forwarded it to you, and I can forward it to the rest of you all. This is the actual website and the contract. So, I'm sorry, what was your question again?
I think we have a request. Is it just for the name of the outfit, or you want some information about the safety?
I want to study the outfit and see what their certifications are, and before I can have an opinion. If I'm forced to have an opinion tonight, I'm not happy about the laser light show. I'm concerned that we need to be responsible for the health and safety of our citizens. That's one of our major responsibilities. And therefore, I'm trying to do that.
Okay. Commissioners, any other commissioners interested in getting additional information? Do we want to table this one until next month and we can get additional information on the safety of the light show, or commissioners ready to vote on this?
Is there any way that we can ensure that it stays within visitor center property?
I mean, it's going to be, lights are going to be in the sky. I mean, the laser show is going to extend from across probably I don't know how far it goes, but no, there wouldn't be any way to contain the lasers to that particular property.
So you could, if you think about the trajectory for the nearby houses, is it possible to organize a light show where it only goes up in the sky, maybe
I'm
up
sure
over,
we could. I mean,
over the
we
hill?
probably could, but that would be a question for the company itself, which we could get that answered, to kind of raise it up a little bit to make sure, I'm sure we could ask more of those questions. Yeah.
Because if we allow this to do a light show, then everyone will want to do a light show, and that's not counting.
It's a lot safer than fireworks, that's for sure.
Well, I'm not really a big fan of fireworks either, so.
Yeah, well, there you go. It was a good alternative then.
Well, I think maybe it might be useful to get some more information about the light show and come back.
Yeah.
We do have a lighting ordinance, I was looking for it right here. And it does talk about lighting standards. We would probably want to see how this also applies. I see prohibited the following lighting: blinking, flashing, and strobe lights. It's part of our lighting ordinance, so I'm going to suggest that we table this. We'll let y'all get some more information.
I would like to approve the balloon festival part of it, and then approve wait until we get more information, because you all do need to advertise. That's what they came, so they can advertise, and maybe not advertise the light show at this time, so we have further time to look at that.
Yes, ma'am.
If that would be okay with the other conditions.
They're already advertising, so that.
Let's amend the motion then to approve the balloon festival and without the light show, and y'all can come back on the light show. Thank you very much, Commissioner Martin. Is that acceptable to the people that made the motion? And
Yes.
Second? Okay, we got a motion and a second to approve the balloon festival without the light show, but y'all can come back.
All right, so I'll just come back next month on that agenda, so we
You
can
can come
discuss
right back
then.
here next month.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
All in favor of approving the balloon festival without the light show as amended, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
I'm opposed.
Okay. 3 votes for approving the balloon festival and 2 votes opposed, so the balloon festival is approved without the light show, but y'all can come back.
We'll be back next month. Thank
Okay.
you so much. Appreciate it all.
Okay, thank you very much. Unfinished business. Commissioners, I'm not aware of any unfinished business. Y'all have been very patient, everybody out in the audience, very patient. It's a long meeting tonight. Let's go next.
Can I bring something? Sorry, I don't want to prolong this super long meeting, but I just want to let people know that I didn't realize really how much of my time would be devoted to bears when I took this spot years ago, but quite a bit. So it turns out, some years more than others, but so I've learned a lot about them over the years, and I have been coordinating on a regular basis with the TWRA bear biologist, which some of the folks here have got a chance to meet, Janelle Musser, and a very, very intelligent lady. So what I see, and it echoes some of what's already been said, but is 9 times out of 10 we don't have bear problems, we have people problems. Our bears, if we're talking about our heritage and our what's native to our land here, nothing personifies that more than the bear, right? So just so people know, our officers, my officers, our officers, we will not shoot a bear unless it's absolutely necessary to protect somebody. We use rubber buckshot or rubber slugs, beanbag rounds, when applicable to try to scare the bears away. I do not want to trap bears any longer if we don't have to, because they euthanize them. And they've got a study that shows that only a tiny percentage of bears that are relocated survive in the wild once they've been relocated. So that's why they've changed their policy. That's sad, but they've got the facts, the stats to back that up, that decision. And so I am in full support of us pushing forward to require bear-proof containers for trash. I think it's imperative to our area, and we need to be responsible as citizens to not only for businesses be responsible, but citizens be responsible for your own household garbage and stuff to keep that secure as well. And your bird feeders and things like that. If you remove the food source, bears will condition their behavior based on that, and they'll eventually move on to greener pastures, so to speak. So anyway, I just want to let you know I stay abreast of these things, and I'm kind of not seeing a lot to it, but I'm talking to her on a regular basis, sending pictures out to her, videos and stuff, and I'm out monitoring this stuff quite frequently. So and we have had a lot of encounters this year, so bear activity is pretty heavy this year. And I think she seems to think a lot of it's because of the dry conditions. It's affected their natural food source a little bit. So next year it could change dramatically, and we see very few bears. I've seen a couple of years here since I've been here that I didn't see any bears. So anyway, we're working on it. I feel like most of the community appreciates our bears and wants to coexist with them peacefully. So I'm glad of that, because I love them. I'm an animal lover. So we're gonna treat those bears with as soft a hands as we can, and just try to get them moving in a different direction. So.
Thanks, Chief. Really appreciate that. Okay, now let's move on to our final opportunity, public input for items not on the agenda. So this is an opportunity to reflect and share any thoughts with us? Have anybody signed up to speak? Okay, it's been a long meeting, I'm grateful. Don Headrick.
Let me just say one thing. This is concerning the community plan. About half the people I talk with don't know what this is about, still yet out there. Somehow we're not getting word out. I don't know what's going on. They don't understand that what goes on in this plan and this mission statement, how it's going to affect their lives 20 years down the road. So I think you all and the group have got a task to get that out.
Well, thank you very much, and I think we are talking about other ways to try to get the word out. Maybe making more posters, flyers to put up for people that might not, be looking to surf the websites or something like that. If you have any other additional thoughts, we can go out and do more engagements. So we have a lot of community organizations. Maybe if we went out and talked to our different community organizations and made them aware of that, that might be helpful. But for it to be successful, we need to have a lot of engagement. So we can't have too much engagement. I think the survey is actually better than I expected, but I take your point, and I think we do need to continue to work to have open house and to be able to reach folks in our community so they understand what this is. There is a website that don't help people that aren't really online or checking that stuff, but there is a website that has all the information on there, so we can try our best to make it available, maybe in hard copy or something, and try to get out and beat the pavement a little bit. So I appreciate it.
I've had some of them say, well, is there a paper copy somewhere? They didn't know.
Yeah. Well, we've had paper copies available of the survey here at City Hall.
We've just not got the word out.
So we can continue to get the word out. So anything you can do, if you have other suggestions, we'll, I think, try to follow up on that because that's important.
Is there a chance you could put some at the grocery store? A lot of people go to the grocery store.
Yeah, a lot of people go to the grocery store. We need to get a flyer up at the grocery store on the bulletin board there at the IGA.
What about some posters?
Yeah, posters. Great idea.
Sometimes just going and knocking on some doors too. Because not everybody has Facebook and
Right.
access to social media or Wi-Fi and, go knock on some doors.
Once people know it's there, they still have to understand what benefit there is 20 years down the road for them. Just knowing that there's a community plan going on and some general description about what it is, maybe is not enough of an explanation for people to understand it and get behind it.
We've got an open house event, I think October the 18th at the Heritage Center, so maybe as we're promoting that, that's an opportunity just to, if people don't know what it is, to drive over and take a look and talk to folks and see what that is. So.
Is there a chance you could have a flyer that could go home with the kids at the school?
A flyer that would go,
Go home with the kids from school?
that might be a suggestion. I think actually after the community plan meeting this afternoon, somebody said they would be reaching out to Connie to see if they could engage them, just because we want to get more thoughts even from our youngest citizens. But something in the backpack, if that might be acceptable, might be another way. That's another good suggestion. A lot of wisdom in the room tonight. So. Other comments? Okay, thank you all very much. Commissioners, any other business we need to attend to tonight as we launch off on the next 2 years in our new commission format? So, okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Got a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.